pianofitness.com. Today's thought for April 3rd is, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Aristotle. Today's theme for Piano Fitness Vision is, it's all your default. So we'll be exploring the three default engines, our hips, heart, and head. Where are yours today? As I turn to the side, I see my defaults in the hips sticking back and the chest coming forward. So I'm going to start to fix that by allowing the low back to lengthen, sacrum moving forward and down. And then lifting at the base of the breastbone, the power chakra. Gives me that nice long waistline. Helps me bring my head over my shoulders. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Let's take a moment to lightly close the eyes and breathe. In through the nose, out through the nose. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Or any variation you'd like. Traditional yoga's in and out the nose. A calming breath soothes the sympathetic nervous system to slow down. And that calming, slow exhale activates our core. It connects us to the parasympathetic. Release and let go nervous system. Our connection to the earth through the feet. We'll look for our three balances front to back, and then side to side, and then from earth to sky. The great toe mound anchors, the little toe mound centers, and there's the heel in the back of your foot in the middle, making a triangle of stability on your feet. The side to side balance. It's always nice to shift level hips from side to side. And decide if you're a right or left legger. I tend to lean to the right. I'm going to balance the feet front to back as well as side to side. Now that deeper breath gets a longer waistline, and we know we want to expand the whole rib cage and torso to breathe deeper. Those long obliques stabilizing us in our core. The neutral heart engine and the head engine on top of the spine. Those balanced feet. The default in the hip engine, if neutral, it's got a perfect square from the front bumps to the back bumps. A little square that's parallel to the floor. Balancing front to back and side to side in our hip engine. Defaults for me, locked knees, I'm going to soften. And we can start to build that lower body freeway, the great to greater freeway. From the great big toe to the bump on the outer hip, the greater trochanter. This truly is helping me fix my hips into balance. So that great left toe, that's where I need to find my weight. And that lifting ankle on the inside gets the feet solid on the earth. We zigzag up from the lifted ankle to an inward shin and an outward knee. Still straight ahead. The thighs can turn in. You might start to feel your greater trochanter. The outer hip. The great to greater lower body freeway. We soften into that strong connection through the feet. The middle finger's right in line with the thigh, right up to those shoulders, in line with the ears. The head engine on top of the neutral spine. My default's tight gluteals, tight low back. I'm going to help fix that with dynamic energy pose in the lower body. So the defaulted engine, still neutral in that square here. Knees are going straight ahead. It's like you're sliding down an imaginary wall. Start to feel the thighs. If the front hip is opening, good, that's extending the hips, lengthening the low back. I need this. My arches defaulting to collapsed are going to lift. And there's that triangle in the foot. Solid on the floor. Take a break when you need to. I'm going to take a nice big breath in and soften a little deeper into neutral. I'm going to try to keep that perfect balance on my feet without changing my hip engine, because it's really getting more neutral this way. Oh, that's nice. Checking that default in the heart engine, the long eccentric muscles of the obliques give you that long waistline. You can engage your core for the second highway. The freeway from the greater trochanter to the awareness at the top of your head, the greater awareness freeway. That neutral skull on top of the spine, delivering weight into the neutral heart. Where's your defaults? Forward head, oh, a lot of tension in the neck. Most people can't bring their head too far back. I want that sweet spot in the middle. Those nice balanced feet. All right, the opposite of dynamic energy, you can see the greater to awareness highway is active. So nothing's changing with those long obliques when you bend from the hip socket, the middle of the body. So the knees aren't going to move. The body is not going to change. I'm keeping weight on my toe knuckles to sit back into my chair. Oh, is it back there? Yes, I can see it. I squat down to it. Knees are still, right over the big and middle toes. I'm going to push up through the lift of the arch to straighten the knees. So this is our squat. And you can see as I squat down, keeping that perfect balance, a little support on the thigh, always available. So that perfect balanced knees are straight ahead. My arches are not going to collapse this time. And then I drive the legs forward with the sacrum. There's your squat. I'm going to release to neutral hips and add a little more work with the arms. So you can see that the arms are shoulder height. Now, if you relax your fingers, relax your wrists, relax your joints. There's the elbows. Looking to the sky at the fold, or the eye of the elbow. Little scarecrow arms here, dropping right into the heart center, through the middle of your chest. I'm going to extend my arms to straight up and fix my bad default, the flared chest. And the imbell, there's the collapsing arches. Got to reignite that map of the lower body freeway. The great to greater freeway. Oh, that's much better. So now I'm keeping that heart center relaxed. And I get to do my chair pose, where I keep the knees straight ahead. Take an inhale to sit down. And then an exhale to stand up. Let's do a couple more. It's all your default. There's my right side working harder than the left. My great to greater highway. Here's my last one. I'm going to sit down. And back, releasing arms. Now I have the added bonus of a balance disc to sit on. Gives me a little more work in my core. To bring the feet out to the front and sit in a chair. Reorienting to seated position. Still got to find the great to greater freeway in the legs to create stability in the hip engine. With our core fueled obliques. I'm going to open my feet a little bit wider than my chair. Since I'm sitting right on top of my sits bones, and my spine is braced in neutral from that greater awareness freeway. The neutral spine hinges from the middle of the body at the hip socket. You've got support on your thighs as needed. You can see I'm trying not to break my spine. And I'm leaning forward. I can look down. There's the neutral spine still. I'm defaulting to my right side. Gotta find that left great toe. Now, the farther you lean forward without changing your spine, you feel things differently when you flex. So I'm going to keep that neutral spine going forward on balance, hips back there as far as I can. Oh, this is feeling good in my tight left low back. Where's your defaults? It's all in your defaults. We can improve. I'm going to reach out and touch the floor. See if I can hinge farther, even forward. Here I can use my elbows on my inner thighs. So I can turn the thigh in and push the knee out. There's the great toe mount and the greater trochanter. The lower body freeway. Now you can stop anytime, you can back off. I've hit a nice
juicy spot here where my left hip needs to let go. Left glutes. Now the strength is in the core. So if you have your obliques with an inhale, you can see I'm not doing anything with my upper body. I'm using the push of my feet and the engagement of the inner thighs to hinge at the middle of the body back up to center. Oh, that felt good. Now, because I'm sitting on a balance disc, this may be a little more challenging. If you're right there on your chair, you can get ready to stand up. So I'm going to lean forward. Inhale. Exhale. Let's shake it out. And to know yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Know your defaults so you can fix them. So we've done our extension work. Let's take some flexion. I'm going to restart. And if you choose, I'm going to squat down and grab my block, so that I'm able to use the block to help strengthen the working of the inner thighs. I have to be careful I overdid it. Sitting on the piano bench 40 minutes holding a block created too much internal rotation. So here we are. I use the block this way. You could use it that way. So now as I restart, there's the great toe mound, the greater trochanter of the hip. The lower body freeway traveled in the mind's eye. So I can feel that lift of the arch. Not my default. There's the the shin turning in, the knees turning out. This block helps engage those inner thighs. But I want to feel the hip bones turning out by dropping the sacrum to neutral down. Checking in with my default again. No long waist. Tight neck and shoulders. I'll release. Into soft, neutral hips. Balanced heart, and there's the head on top of the spine. So here comes the roll down. You can see I'm extending my neck to look down. I'm actually flexing the cervical spine. But there's space in the throat. And as the shoulders come to the front, the armpits get open. My hips want to go back. I'm going to engage my thighs and take the sacrum forward and down. So here's a real deep flexion of the upper back. I want to let the front spine receive the weight of my body and feel the facets in the back spine open up. Our lifted core, those long obliques are rounding us down close to ourselves. Those tight hips, hamstrings, low back will pull your hip engine backwards. So I'm going to keep my hips tucked under and check in with my tighter heart engine. Oh, there it is better. Again, you're rolling down as low as you can without sacrificing the hips going backwards. Too far. So I'm finally getting into my tight default of the lowest part of the lumbar, 3, 4, 5. Always tight back there. Pulling my hips backwards. I'm fixing my default there. Finally, we're in our forward bend. Hands relaxed. Easy to touch the floor. The folded arms. Hide the thumbs in the eye of the elbow. And you dream of Jeannie here. Make your wish. Here the body reveals the tight places. You get to breathe and let them go. Connecting to parasympathetic vagus nerve. My upper back tends to be tight, so I'm going to leave my head where it is. See if I can lift my elbows and kind of close the upper back. Opens the front chest. One side gets shorter, something else gets longer. And I'm going to see if I can just let my elbows drop. And swing, not very good. There's the lift. There's the release. Ooh, I need to practice that to get more release. I'm going to roll it up with an inhale to prepare. The lifted arch of the great to greater lower body freeway helps me push those hips under right away on balanced feet. And there's the perfect roll up on both sides of your spine, right? There's the long obliques supporting the core. Stability in the hip engine. There's the powerful heart. Enjoying the relaxed shoulders. And there's the neutral head right on top of the spine. A little extra work for those inner thighs. I'm going to shake it out and get the strap. For the upper body, heart engine. So we'll be squatting down to the chair again. I gotta set it up. Great the lower body freeway. Oh, my default collapsed arches, right foot stronger. So here's the hip hinge. This is when you don't change your body, you just sit back, keep the knees right over the toes. The challenge is to go super slow. So I see when I want to put weight on my heels. I don't want to do that. And I can see I'm still keeping my back pretty low and long. Just sit down. I'll remove my balance disc. Store it in the chair. So here we are seated. I'm going to find my balanced sits bones, not too far back, not too far forward. Establish the great to greater freeway in the lower body to create stability in the hip engine on the bench. Now the breath is fueling our heart engine and we're getting that long oblique line, finding the front back balance and side balance, and from earth to sky balance. So here we are with our strap work to help get that heart centered. The engine of the heart balanced in the thoracic spine. As you can see here, I'm going to hold the strap and it's going to be shoulder width apart. Now as I pull on the strap, I can feel my middle back muscles activating. I have a perfect neutral wrist here. It's not bending in or out. It's not going up or down. And my fingers are lightly holding the strap. I'm not death gripping it, but I am actively pulling it as much as I can. Time to reconnect to my stable hips. Create it with the great to greater freeway. So this is heart engine work. This is when we reach the knuckles forward and allow the shoulder blades to flare like wings back there. as you keep pulling as much as you like, no tension in the neck. But breathe into your heart. You can open the back of your body. Now there's no change in the elbows because it's the thoracic spine that I'm going to drag forward by moving my shoulders backwards. Eye of the elbow looking up to the sky as much as possible. Oh, I see I leaned off my sits bones. So I'm going to find my hip engine on the bench and see if I can pull my chest forward and my shoulders back. I lost my great to greater freeway down there. I'm going to reestablish that on the bench. So it looks easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. I'm going to inhale to open or protract the shoulder blades wide. And then I'm going to use that release back to close the shoulder blades and widen the collarbones across the front heart engine. So here's your inhale and your exhale. I'm going to keep my obliques long this time. Oh, that's good work. I'm getting tired. I'm going to release. So as we drop the strap for a moment, we can take our sternoclavicular joints right here, tracing out to the collarbones. We know this is our controller of the heart engine. So you spin it around from here. The collarbones get up and around. So we know the power of the heart is found in the middle of the chest, and it controls what your arms do. Shoulder blades get short in the back. If you turn your elbows out, you do get a little opening of the chest, but I got too many flared ribs down there. That's better. You can see as the shoulders round forward, you can get that nice curve up here. Whether you're in the front, here you can lift up and down, make little circles to the front from your sternoclavicular joints. Feeling that scapular humeral glide through the middle back. Now I'm going to quiet my forward circle, keep my shoulders forward, but see how far I can circle back in the front. It's a pretty small movement. Now I'm going to make it big and go all the way back. Well, I got to find balance on my heels. Yep, there's the feet, the great to greater. Elbows turn out. Palms are soft. Now we can lift. Look, there's the arms coming up. To the center, no change in the neck. I got a change in my head. I lifted my chin. Now I can bring these arms forward again and release. So we'll finish up here with our heart engine work. You can see that I'm holding the strap quite wide, and that my head, hips, and heart are neutral. Heavy on the feet, heavy in the sits bones. You can see the neutral wrists are here as well when the arms come up. Now here's the opening of the shoulders. I'm going to keep pulling on the strap so my wrists don't change, I hope, to come down. So now we have our widest chest, our neutral wrists. I got to reestablish my lower body core strength to create stability for the upper body. I've got my inhale and an exhale that comes around to the front. I like to inhale to the top And then watch the change in the body to go front or back on the breath out. Here's my last one. Too easy, you bring your hands closer. I'm going to go to this little tight spot in my upper back. It's over here. I go wider on the strap and find when I anchor my lower body, my upper body responds better. Oh, that's good. Coming around to the front and releasing. We're going to finish with a little bit of neck and shoulder work. So just be super careful if you're forward headed. If you live here and your ears are not over your shoulders, a lot of this is risky work. But if you can get your chin tucked, get your ears on top of your shoulders, I'm going to get that shoulder joint to line up with the middle of my ear as well to find my neutral heart. So it's the neutral heart that helps balance the head on top of the spine. And if you're perfectly balanced, you can see the lifting chin keeps the neck long and the shoulders don't bunch. And then you can lower the chin down toward the heart. So you got a really long neck. Known as the cervical nod. You're pivoting right on the top of your spine at the atlanto-occipital joint. Oh, that feels good. Of course, forward headed, your range of motion is going to be way smaller and not very safe. Yes, not safe. So let's do the not safe part. See, if you're forward and you try to turn your head, it's going to hurt. If you can keep your head neutral, you can see that the turning of the head from left to right stays right on top of the spine. So you get to say yes and no. If you turn easier to the left, probably because you drive a car. Just a couple more shakes of the head. Side to side in rotation. Looking straight ahead now. We've done our forward and back. We did our rotation. Side folding. So I want to stay lifted. Oh, there's my weak obliques. There's my core strength again through the feet. You just tipped your head to the right. Shoulders didn't change. Mine did a little. I want to feel weight on my left hip. The neck stays long when you look up to the center. And then you just tip your head. See, the neck stays long. Side flexion, I call it. I'm not sure what it really is. Shoulders are still the same, I think. You can always add more. But today my add-on is going to be come up to center. Take a moment to turn the head easily. I never want to really bring my chin over my shoulder. It's too far. I could probably do it, but it's not safe. Better to keep it over the collarbone. So if you stay with your twist to the right, you can see the chin is over the collarbone, the ear is behind the shoulder. And I'm going to square my body to the front. Reestablishing my great to greater highway, as well as the greater awareness freeway in the upper body. From here now, it's easier for me to just tuck my chin and lift and do a cervical nod to the side. I'm going to go slow so I can feel where I can release. Oh, that's nice. So there's your cervical nod with a twist. Now the chin is neutrally parallel to the floor when you bring that nose back to the middle. And you take a recentering check. Lower body freeway. created stability in my hips on the bench. Greater awareness highway. My upper body ready to go the other way. So slowly turning that head. The chin is right hovering over my sternoclavicular joint. My ears behind my shoulder. So carefully I'm going to look down and look up, nodding the skull with a left side twist. Now as I complete my nod, I'll keep the chin parallel. Spine still right there in a line to easily untwist back to front and center. Some of those little easy shoulder circles coming from the middle of the chest in both directions. Much freer in the upper back, that the neck has been released. It's all connected. We'll finish up our neck work here with a side fold and some circles. A lot of options. So I want to see that my head is looking straight forward. To get a little more neck on that left scalings, I will reach my palm out and extend my wrist. I'm going to let my left hand release, and here's my cervical nod again. Very slow. The neck is very long on that right side. I notice I'm not putting weight on my left hip. Oh, that's better. Now I'm going to quiet the nod and let the neck get long as I release the head to the middle of the chest, looking down. We did this earlier in our flat roll down and back up. So there's the lift. Well, my shoulders are too far down into the back. That's neutral. And remember, obliques work best when they're long. So get them longer through your waist. Stabilize a little more. So I'm just going to let that left ear roll over to look straight ahead on the left side. Oh, there's my right neck. Some crackles in that childhood injury in my cervical spine. That felt good though. So I'm hanging out here. I can get that add-on of the extended right wrist, reaching out from my sternoclavicular joint. Affects the sides of your neck, the scalenes. 3 of them in there. 3 skinny little triangles on the side of the neck. So here we go with our cervical nod. I'm going to be super careful. See that my ear is not really going too far forward or backward. It's just an up and down the side fold. Now, if you need to pause and watch, I want you to be safe. So you can see as I nod my chin, I can roll it down to the middle. Keep it tucked as I roll it over to the right and look forward. Please watch again as I do the half head circles a few times. Here's what I wanted you to see. If I want, I can stay over here and then do a lift of the chest. Get my cervical nod to look up and make a complete circle in one direction. So start with your half head circles and go side to side. I'm doing full head circles one more time this way. I'm going to pause at the top of my circle to go the other way. Oh, that's C2. My childhood cervical injury. Getting some healing today. Now, if you're doing only the forward head circles, you can pause at the to see the easier, I should say, half head circles, only to the left, to the back instead of the front. I'm finished up. I'm looking up. Things are looking up today. To know yourself, it's the beginning of all wisdom. And it's all in your defaults. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.